Unfortunately, protocols hold physicians, most physicians, at like a standard of has this patient fell off the labor curve? And we all know that none of us are cookie cutters of each other. So, I mean, falling off a labor curve is very generalized. No one is going to stay on this particular labor curve. And there's a lot of criteria that fall into the labor curve, but once you break somebody's water, or they break their water, you look to have them delivered within 18 hours of them breaking their water. So, I mean, factors start playing once that happens. So, and then you're looking, are they infected? Does mom have a fever? Is the baby tachycardic? So there's a lot of things that you're working against the clock to try to help this mom once they're admitted, because a lot of criteria start playing and we're held to a lot of protocols. I also think that there's research to be done when you are picking a provider to make sure that when you are deciding like who you're going with, what are their views on, a vaginal delivery after a C-section? What are their views on, the induction process? I would ask all those questions. I think that's important to know what practice you're going with and what they choose to do when they are going to be taking care of you when you are in labor.
There's a lot of providers out there that are not willing to even entertain a VBAC. And so that alone, if people aren't comfortable switching providers, because sometimes that can feel very scary. I get calls all the time from people who say they want a certain type of birth, but their provider that they're seeing is a complete mismatch. But they've been seeing their provider since they were a teenager, or maybe their family goes to their provider, or they've known them forever, and they just have no interest in switching, and that's okay. But then you have to know that that's the birth that you're signing up for. You wouldn't go to an Italian restaurant and expect to get a Chinese meal, right? It's just not a fit. So provider fit is so important, and so I have a lot of conversations about that with people, but sometimes they don't even find out about different options until it's too late in their pregnancy to switch, or they thought their provider was going to be a certain way, and then they're realizing that that they're not a certain way. So sometimes it can be really hard, and then they just have to do the best that they can with the situation that they are sort of in.